Hey everybody, this is Gabe at Security.org, and today we're checking out Amazon's latest billion-dollar acquisition, Ring, and their home security alarm system. Let's get started. If you'd like to see a list of our favorite home security systems, Google Security.org Best Home Security Systems. If you have a question about today's review, leave us a comment and I'll get back to you. In today's review, I'm going to talk about all the components that I received when I ordered the Ring Alarm home security system, the professional monitoring options, how easy it was to set up, the customer support, and the mobile application. Included in our order of the Ring Alarm security system, we got a base station, keypad, contact sensors, motion detector, and a range extender. Of course, we think that a video component is an important part of any home security system, so we added a Ring Stickup Cam. Let's begin with the base station, which serves as the center of your security system with Ring. Now, with the base station, you get a built-in battery in case power goes out and a 110 decibel siren. So that's about as loud as a jackhammer or a rock band. Now, what you have to understand is that this is the center for which the rest of your peripheral devices with Ring attach. So you need this, and then everything else, your cameras, your contact sensors, are all able to be set up with your system. Now that we've discussed its functionality, let's talk about the design of the Ring base station. I'm actually a huge fan. To begin with, you've got this speaker on the top for your siren, and you've got this nice illuminated ring that works really well in terms of just catching the eye, but not being too distracting. Now, on the back, you've got pairing button, Ethernet, USB, you got your indicators here and your reset button. So just overall, I'm a big fan of this, sleek Scandinavian aesthetic that I think will fit well into any home. The second element that we'll discuss in the Ring Alarm home security system is the keypad. Now, the keypad is the way in which you interface with the Ring Alarm system when you're not doing so through the mobile application. The base station doesn't have any buttons, so everything that you do has to be done here. Now, what's interesting about this is that it's pretty analog. You're gonna have a tactile keypad here, which allows you to put in your passcode, and that has to do with your arming and disarming, which is done on this side. So you'll arm and disarm your system with these buttons, and you'll put in your passcode with these, and that is how you interface with your system with the Ring Alarm. Now, in terms of design, I'm actually a fan of this instead of the screens and the touch screens that we get so used to with our phones and our iPads and a host of other things. Like, hey, this is something that we can actually touch and use and feel. So that's the keypad with the Ring Alarm home security system. The next item we'll discuss are the contact sensors with the Ring Alarm home security system. Now, contact sensors, otherwise known as door and window sensors, allow you to know when a door or window has been opened or closed in your home, and it's a really important element of security. Now, if these are separated like so, the system alerts you to that happening. So you know that something's going on and you can basically prepare for it. Now, with these sensors, you'll note they're a little bit larger than sensors you may have seen before. I don't know why that's the case with Ring. I don't think they're so large that they're cumbersome necessarily or look bad, but they do retain that typical white aesthetic. And another thing that's interesting about them is that you actually place the larger piece on the mobile part of the door and the smaller piece on the frame itself. So those are the contact sensors for the Ring Alarm home security system. The next item we'll discuss in your Ring Alarm home security system is the motion detector. Now, the motion detector does just that. It detects motion inside of your home, just giving you that extra layer of protection. Now, what's interesting about the Ring motion detector is that it does distinguish between humans and animals, so you're not gonna get a notification on your phone every time your cat coughs up a hairball. Now, in terms of its aesthetic, I cannot really emphasize more how typical it is in terms of how it looks for a motion detector, and I don't think that's a bad thing. It's very discreet, it's just white, it's gonna fit up against a wall, and people aren't really gonna notice it in your home. And what I do wanna say is something that I appreciate about this motion detector is that it is flush. Sometimes you'll get motion detectors where this piece, which actually detects the motion, kind of protrudes out from the rest of the device, and that does for me kind of give me a negative impression of the motion detector. But this one, with its adhesive, can go directly on your wall, or you can place it on your bookcase. It'll just work and not be a visual eyesore. I guess all eyesores are visual, but that's my thought on the motion detector for the Ring Alarm security system. So the final piece that comes with the Ring Alarm home security system is the range extender. Now, the range extender is useful for making sure that your network is all together, especially if you live in a larger home. You're gonna want your network to be even and all the different devices to work well together. And you can't do that if they're not getting a great connection. Now, it's a pretty discreet, all white aesthetic for the range extender. You plug it in and you're ready to go. Now, you do plug it in, but if the power goes out, it also has a backup battery. So it will continue to work just like your Ring Alarm system in case of some type of emergency. So we really are a fan of Ring, including the range extender in its system and just the way it looks generally. Now, at Security Brand, we think that video is a really important component of any home security system. Now, Ring actually has numerous cameras that you can integrate with their Ring system, but for the purposes of our review today, we went with the Ring Stickup Cam. Now, from an aesthetic perspective, the Ring Stickup Cam is definitely something different. You got your speaker here on the bottom. It does have your typical black and white aesthetic, a recessed lens, and just a cylindrical design, which is not something that we've seen a ton of. But we've definitely seen with a few cameras. Now, it does come with a lot of flexibility, and I don't just mean that in a physical sense. You can place the Ring Stickup Cam the way we have it, on a table, on a wall, even I think from the ceiling. There's just a lot of options for setting up your Ring Stickup Cam. Now, we have a methodology by which we will judge it, and of course that is the Security Brand Necessary Features Test. The first Security Brand necessary feature is video quality. And the good news here is the Stickup Cam comes with 1080p high definition video and 150-degree field of view when it comes to its angle. Now, that is 30 degrees more than our typical 120 degrees that we like to see with all of our cameras. Definitely has solid video quality. Another Security Brand necessary feature is two-way audio, and I'm really pleased with the fact that the Ring Stickup Cam does come with two-way audio so that if I see something going on in a room that I don't like, I can yell directly at those people. And that's just something I like to have the ability to do. And of course, if they want to yell back, I can also hear them from my side directly from the mobile application. An important Security Brand necessary feature is night vision, and the Ring Stickup Cam does come with what we like: infrared LED sensors for night vision. You never want to have a system that requires you to have a light on or something that actually alerts people to its presence. And the Ring Stickup Cam definitely comes through there with its night vision. Local and cloud storage are a Security Brand necessary feature, and the Ring Stickup Cam does quite well here. It actually has local storage and cloud storage at a reasonably priced level. You can get 60 days of cloud storage for $3 a month, which is unlike anything we've seen for any other camera. And you can just plug directly in for your local storage. So when it comes to local and cloud storage and the Security Brand necessary features test, the Ring Stickup Cam does really well. Smart platform integration is a Security Brand necessary feature, and unsurprisingly, the Ring Stickup Cam does come with Amazon Alexa integration. But we are a bit surprised that it doesn't come with Google Assistant integration, considering how big that's getting these days. I mean, I understand it was acquired by Amazon, but even a lot of Nest products work with Amazon products, and so that's a bit of a surprise for us. But definitely can use it with Amazon Alexa and does well when it comes to smart platform integration. Artificial intelligence is a Security Brand necessary feature, and one that the Ring Stickup Cam does not have. There's no facial recognition technology, no person detection. So when it comes to the Security Brand necessary feature of artificial intelligence, there's nothing going with the Ring Stickup Cam. Okay, wait, hold on. Let's take a quick break. We were wondering what our viewers are thinking of adding in terms of components to the Ring Alarm home security system if you were thinking of buying it. I know I would do the Ring Alarm video doorbell, but I was just wondering what you all thought. Please leave us a comment below with your ideas. Let's get back to the video. Now that we've discussed all the components that come with the Ring Alarm security system, let's talk about how easy it was to set up. With the Ring Alarm security system, you're going to want to have your mobile application ready to go when you're going to start installing, because it is what walks you through the entire process and is a necessary component. And that goes to be said also for the Ring base station. It's the first thing you're going to want to set up. You're going to plug it in. You're going to get a ring that actually moves around here. And you're going to want to just immediately set it up on your wireless network using the mobile application. You could also hardwire it with an Ethernet cable. There is a port here, but I just did it right through my Wi-Fi connection. Now, one thing I want to note about setting up the Ring system, which becomes immediately apparent just as you start, is that it's not instantaneous. It doesn't take by any means a long time, but we've seen with some security systems that it basically syncs immediately. And here we didn't have that experience. And of course, that could be due to various factors like our network connection or things like that. But just something to note is that it's not working when you're setting up the Ring Alarm system. It just may take a little bit longer to sync. Now, the second element that the mobile application walks you through setting up is the keypad. Here you're gonna set your passcode for the keypad and make sure that it's syncing with the base station, which is basically the heart and soul of your home security apparatus. So setting up the keypad is very straightforward. It'll take a moment to sync, and you'll set your passcode and you'll be ready to go. And if you have any questions during this process, you can just watch one of the tutorial videos that Ring provides right there in the mobile application. The next part that you're gonna wanna set up with the Ring Alarm security system are the contact sensors. Now, one thing I want to note really quickly here is that you should not try to set up more than one device at a time, because it's going to walk you through it, but don't try to do multiple synchronizations at one point, because that can mess up the installation process, and that's something you don't want. Remember, all in all, it's going to take you about 10 minutes, so don't get too far ahead of yourself. Now, setting up the contact sensors, not only do they set it up through the mobile application and sync with the base station, but there's also a tutorial on where to set the contact sensors. Now, something we noted before, and that is important to remember, is that these are a little bit different in that the skinnier piece actually stays on the frame, and the larger piece is the one that is dynamic and mobile. So the static piece is the smaller piece, and the larger piece is the one that moves. And oftentimes those roles are reversed when it comes to the actual size of each part of your contact sensor. Otherwise, very straightforward in terms of setting it up. So the Ring Alarm app will next guide you to setting up your motion sensor. Now, the motion sensor will sync with the Ring base station and be ready to go. I think that entire process takes 1 minute. Of course, you're going to want to take another minute to decide where you want to actually place your motion detector, and there are videos in the app to kind of help you with that process. Generally, you're going to put it in like a corner or wherever it's going to get the widest view of a room. You can set it up with the adhesive on the back, or like we typically do here in our office, place it on top of a bookcase or a shelf. So that's the setup on the Ring motion detector. The final piece with the Ring Alarm starter kit is the range extender. This allows you to even out your network in your home, and it also syncs directly with your base station and just requires you to plug it into a wall, wait for it to sync up, and you're ready to go. Beyond the core components of the Ring Alarm security system, there are a host of other products and devices that you can set up with the Ring Alarm system directly with the mobile application and the base station. Video doorbells, cameras, extra sensors. But for our purposes and this review of the security system, we went with the Ring Stickup Cam. Now, setting up the Ring Stickup Cam was just another part of the general walkthrough that you get right there in the mobile application. It essentially asks, hey, would you like to add new devices? You click on cameras, and you just set up the Ring Stickup Cam with everything that it tells you to do right there on the screen. So setting up the Ring Stickup Cam and syncing it with our base station using the mobile application was a very simple process, and one that we're glad we went ahead and went through. So now that we have everything installed, we can talk about the professional monitoring options with the Ring Alarm home security system. Interestingly, Ring Alarm Security System only offers one professional monitoring package, and it's called the Protect Plus plan. And with the Protect Plus plan, you get 24/7 professional monitoring, which means a team of trained professionals making sure that your home is safe, and if not, making sure the proper authorities can get to you. Now, with that, you also get cellular backup, because what good is a home security system if all it takes is the phone line going out or the internet going out for you to not be able to get the help that you need? And fortunately, that cellular backup takes care of that issue. Now, along with that, on the Protect Plus plan, you get the ability to review and share all of your Ring videos. Now, it's a pretty good deal, so you may be thinking, well, this has to cost me a little bit, and that's where it's really impressive. It's only $10 a month for all of those benefits. You may next say, well, I must have to sign a long contract in order to get everything for that low of a price, and that's just not the case. Ring allows you to cancel your contract at any moment. So $10 a month or $100 annually, and you get the Protect Plus plan with 24/7 professional monitoring, cellular backup, and the ability to share and view all of your Ring videos. All right, so we've gone over what's really important in terms of making sure your home is safe, which is professional monitoring. Now let's talk about what it's like to actually speak to Ring themselves for issues not related to an emergency: customer support. Now, when it comes to customer support, the Ring Alarm website has a really comprehensive library of FAQs and articles to help you address whatever issue you may be going through with your Ring Alarm security system. Now, if that doesn't work, you can also call them directly at any time. I mean, 24/7, you can get in touch with someone at Ring. Now, is Ring customer support actually all that supportive? Well, I took to the internet to find out. And when it comes to the Amazon reviews, it actually gets 4.5 out of 5 stars, and a whopping 76% of those reviews were 5 stars. So that's really impressive. And on top of that, the majority of the reviews talking about the customer support team were positive. So it's definitely doing well when it comes to the Amazon review process. Now, when it comes to Google reviews, a metric we use pretty commonly here at Security Baron, the Ring Alarm system does not do as well as it does with Amazon. It still fares above average with 3.8 out of 5 stars, but when the reviews were specifically talking about customer support, it's split pretty evenly between 1-star and 5-star reviews. So it may just be dependent on someone you get, but generally we're talking pretty middling reviews for the Ring Alarm system when it comes to customer support. So now that we've gone over customer support, let's jump into the user experience in the mobile application for the Ring Alarm home security system. Users seem to be having a pretty average experience in both the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store as it pertains to the Ring Alarm mobile application. In the Google Play Store, it fares a bit better with a 3.4 out of 5-star rating, and generally the slight majority of those are 5-star reviews. Now, in the Apple App Store, it gets 3.3 out of 5 stars, and we can just basically be sure that people aren't really in love with their mobile application with the Ring Alarm system. But let's go ahead and jump into my experience right on my Apple iPhone 10. So here I am looking at the main page on the Ring Alarm home security system mobile application. Now, the most important things are right at the top. You've got your disarmed, home armed, and away armed. And those are all denoted by slight differences in the badges. Now, you note now that we're disarmed. If I tap on the middle button, I can do the home arm.
Home and armed.
And here we go. Now, if I want to get out of the home armed, I just click disarmed once again.
Disarmed.
Now, below that, you'll see neighbors. And neighbors allows you to see what's going on in your neighborhood. I live in Brooklyn, and so you'll see all the different things that are going on in your vicinity related to, possible incidents. Now, on the right, you get event history, which allows you to look at the various cameras and what's going on, live view, motion detection, things of that nature. I can do the same thing with the alarms, look at what I've done in my alarm history. Now, if I want to look at the live stream, it's right there below neighbors and event history. I can look at the Ring Stickup Cam, tap on that, activates the device, and here I am looking at the live stream, and I can even go back in time. I can rewind one way or another, just using this, which is really cool to watch yourself do in quick motion. Now, if I pop up on the right side, you'll see it says settings with the gear. And here I can check out a lot of different options for customization right with the Ring Stickup Cam, siren, live view, recording motion, or even just getting motion alerts. Look at my device health, link chimes, motion snooze, just a ton of things you can do right here, customizing your Stickup Cam. Let's go back to the home screen. If you note right below Ring Stickup Cam, if I want to go look at that, I can also set up new devices. And with the Ring, that is almost an infinite process. You can constantly add new devices to your Ring alarm security system. Now, looking at settings, I can go into the top left corner where you see those 3 lines, tap on that, and I get a ton of different options for my account. I can look at neighbors, I can look at the various devices that I have, I can go into my history, I can go into the settings, my account, new features, help, or just look back at my dashboard. Now, if I go on the right, I can actually change the lineup of how it looks. This is definitely something that's important if you want to have multiple cameras and multiple camera views available right there on the dashboard. So if you look, I'm tapping in the upper right-hand corner. It gives me different looks for looking at my cameras with the Ring Alarm home security system. So that's our foray into the Ring Alarm home security system and its mobile application. So here I am checking out the video quality on the Ring Stickup Cam, and if you note, it's pretty good. It's got 1080p and a tremendous 150-degree field of view, and some zooming options, which we can test out on our globe. All right, let's go and check that out. All right. Africa, Asia, really got a really big expansive view on our globe test today. And it's really capturing everything in this room. And we're just generally pretty big fans of the Ring Stickup Cam when it comes to video quality. Here we are checking out the night vision on the Ring Stickup Cam, and it's not bad. It's got 4 infrared LED sensors, so it's really capturing everything that's going on. I will note that that blue light definitely kind of stands out a bit, but that's a very petty thing to note about the Ring Stickup Cam because it's generally a pretty good vision. We go in, you can zoom in on me here. I will note that it's pretty close to me. It's only about 3 or 4 feet away from my face right now. But you're still getting so much of this wide view with that 150-degree field of view. So overall, video quality during night vision on the Ring Stickup Cam is pretty good. So we've gone a long way with the Ring Alarm home security system today, and I know at this point you just want to know, Gabe, is this right for me? And let me say, if you want Amazon Alexa integration with your camera, if you want a professional monitoring package that is not only affordable, but also doesn't require you to sign a long contract, then the Ring Alarm home security system might just be for you. However, if you want a highly rated mobile application or artificial intelligence capabilities, then you're not going to get that with the Ring Alarm home security system. Now, for me personally, I think there are a lot of really cool elements to the Ring Alarm system, especially if you think about all the extra components you can bring in terms of having a video doorbell, outdoor cam, floodlight cam, your stick-up cam, and the ability to just move really easily from house to house with your system, not worrying about a contract, and just having a sleek device. I really like the Ring system for that, and it's definitely something I'm considering putting in my own home. So those are my thoughts on the Ring Alarm home security system. So that concludes our review of the Ring Alarm home security system. If you appreciate today's video, give us a like and hit that subscribe button. As always, this is Gabe at Security Baron. Be secure.